Hey everybody, happy Wednesday evening live tutorial stream. How's everybody doing wherever you are out there in the wilds of the internet today? I hope everyone is having a great Wednesday. We had lovely if chilly weather here in Dallas. Winter has definitely attempting to... Okay, fine, Lori.
I want it. I want it.
Oh God, why? Minus temperatures are the worst thing ever.
Oh, I love being cold.
Oh, they're so terrible. They hurt.
The heat hurts me.
Well, that's fair. To each their own. But yeah, we had slightly chilly temperatures today. I think we only got up into like the 50s, low 50s, and then it's supposed to drop back down into the 30s tonight. So should probably at some point pull some of my plants in and stuff before they croak. But anyway, welcome to the live tutorial stream. It's our only tutorial of this week because I am heading out of town to Dickens on the Strand this weekend. So oh, I mean, Laura, you and Heather, like, I would take a trade. Because I feel like you know, you guys could do like a 1 week like home swap thing or something, and Lori could come have weather in the 40s and you could go, you know, freeze in the tundra of Canada. And then you could switch back.
That'd be nice.
Corvus, I'm sorry I missed your unboxing stream. I was teaching. My class ran a little bit long and then I had to go and do a thing. So yes, I did. I got my hair cut, so it's shorter. And actually I have a funny story, and I'm going to share an unflattering picture of myself, which I don't do very often. But so I had a haircut yesterday, and my hairstylist used this like magical product on it to make it like all curly and bouncy and volumey. And oh my god, I could not leave the Raven, Corvus, like I had to. But so my hairstylist put this cool product in my hair. She's like, you know, I want to see how this works on fine hair. So she filled my hair up with product and she scrunched it and she blow dried it and like gave it all this texture and volume, and she's like, I want you to sleep in it and see what it does, because she has super curly hair, and she's like, when I sleep in it, I wake up, my curls are perfect, I don't have to do anything. So I slept in it, and that's what I looked like when I woke up. So obviously the product does not work quite the same on fine hair as it does on curly hair. I sent her that photo and her response was, oh my.
It is a whole thing.
It is a whole thing happening on my head, yes. And so yeah, she's like, okay, you can probably just curl the crap out of it and it'll be fine. And it was, because I know, right? She knows her business. But I woke up this morning, I was like, I don't think this is what she was expecting. I know, seriously. Well, and actually it is a tribute to the product that my hair is actually sticking out that far, because it's normally has no body, so it won't do that. With the exception of when I had my pixie cut, which was many years ago, I would wake up and my hair would just be sticking out straight all around my head, usually because I'd filled it full of product. But yeah, so kudos to the product, but yeah, not quite the intended results, I think. But it was amusing, and it was all in the name of science. Yay, science.
It does look pretty sciencey.
It does look very science. It looks very
bad.
It looks very Christopher Lloyd in Back to the Future. It's true. Okay, so what are we doing today? We're doing another metal and stamping class, which I was not paying attention. There's the button. I wasn't paying attention when I did my classes, and so the techniques in this class are very similar to the techniques in the multi-textured bracelet that we did last week, but we're going to go ahead and we're just going to go with it. And so I'm going to show you some fun texturing techniques. I'm once again going to show you how to... the drinking bell is hanging on my chasing hammer. I'm going to show you how to finish the edges of your metal. We're going to use some steel wool and some chasing hammer action to finish the edges of metal, and then we are going to curl the edges and make a pair of custom ear wires for our earrings. So what do you need as far as tools and supplies go for this evening's tutorial? You're going to need some sheet metal, 24 gauge sheet metal. I went to an off-site event, 24 gauge. I'm using 24 gauge copper because my hands are tired. You know why? Because I went to an offsite event today, and instead of taking 24 gauge sheet metal, I took 22 gauge sheet metal, which is an utter pain in the butt to cut.
Corvus,
So,
we thought of you.
we did think of you, Corvus, yes, with your scissors and your sadness. Tenacity. You're very tenacious.
Sheer cussedness.
Sheer cussedness. But so 24 gauge sheet metal, I'm using copper tonight. I've got 20 gauge wire. I've got about 10 inches of it because I'm gonna make a pretty large ear wire. I'm actually shocked. I'm legitimately shocked by that, Corvus. But I'm surprised that they'll cut anything anymore, because they've been rather abused.
I think at this point they could just look at the thing and it's like, okay.
To be fair, we are calling Corvus stubborn, but I also think that's a foregone conclusion. I think that's something that everybody knows about Corvus, and if they don't, they're going to find it out real quick.
She's very densely packed stubborn.
Yes, it's true. So, as far as supplies go, that's all you need. Sheet metal, wire, the end. As far as tools go, of course, it's a metal class, so you're going to need a variety of different things. A circle template is really helpful for those of you like me who, like me, cannot draw a circle freehand, because I can't. You're going to need a household hammer. You're going to need a chasing hammer. You're going to need a bench block. You are going to need a pair of decent metal shears. Corvus.
She has a really nice pair of metal shears
now.
No.
You're gonna need design stamps, and so I just have my little Life's Cream container of design stamps here. I'm gonna kind of wing it on that. Also some
excuse me, gelato.
Okay, fine. But I don't actually know. This one might not be a Talenti container. This might be a something else container.
Oh, fair enough. Then it could be.
Some fine steel wool and a little bit of sandpaper isn't gonna hurt anybody. So let's go ahead and put my phone in my pocket so I don't drop it out of my butt onto the floor. And we're gonna start by making the half moons for our earrings. So Corvus, so my favorite brand of metal stamps is Impress Art, and you can get those off of Etsy, and the prices you're going to get off of Etsy are going to be the same pretty much as what I could get them for, but there's way more variety because I can't afford to stock that much in metal stamps. Now that may change now that we're finally back to doing in-person classes at Beading Dreams. Thank goodness.
Everybody send good classy thoughts.
Yes. So that's gonna help me increase my stock of things now that we're doing classes again, but it's gonna take a while to get there because at the moment we're still kind of running on the lean as far as stock goes. Okay, so I'm gonna take to make a half moon, what I like to do is to pick two different sizes of, wow, that's not even on camera. Okay, that's fine. We'll just do it up here where the camera can see it. So pick two different sizes of circles. So I'm going to pick my bigger one, and since I've used this template so much, all my numbers are worn off. Yes, Corvus, you come to town, I will teach any class that you want. So I'm just going to put a dot so I remember that's the one that I used for that, and then I'm going to go one size smaller, line it up like so, and then that's going to be my half moon. And then I'm going to do it again. So if you want to cut out the whole circle and then cut out the little moon, you will have this nice piece of copper that's the perfect shape to make like an evil eye pendant of some sort. So if you want to do that, you will actually have some ready-made shapes for something else, but the only thing that is applicable to tonight's tutorial that's going to get cut out is this piece right here. Okay, now I have to just do this so that it looks like scary monsters. So This piece is the piece we're going to use for the tutorial tonight. This piece is waste but can be used for another tutorial. Hey, how about I do that for a tutorial next month? I know, right, Corvus? I should frame it and sell it for $1 million. Yes, copper reacts with most people's skin, Corvus, and it will typically turn people's skin green unless you seal it. You can seal it with a lacquer on the back. You can seal it with clear nail polish. Unfortunately, the only coat it in resin, that's actually a really good way to do it. Or there is a really expensive way to seal it, which is called e-coating, which is the best way. But it costs a lot of money to get yourself set up for that. So that's not something that I recommend, just because most people don't have just like $4 to dump into a sealing system for their copper. I guess we could start a GoFundMe and then everyone could just send their stuff to us. But where would we put it? Where we could put it where the cow skull is.
Yes.
And that's something that's going to get shown on stream tonight.
Boy, is it.
Also, I do want to give all of you who are on stream right now a heads up that I'm going to do one more night of 50% off tonight, and then Heather's going to do Trunk Show on Saturday, so you get one bonus night of 50 off, because I did not show nearly as much merchandise as I wanted to on the 50% off streams, and I was even focused. I just had really high expectations of what I was able to do in the time I had allotted and the energy I had available. Okay, so all I've done is I've taken my metal shears and I just excised that piece from my larger copper sheet, and now I'm going to go ahead and cut my copper. Now I cut metal without gloves because I've done it enough that I know for the most part where the sharp and pointy bits are going to be, and I know how to avoid them. If you're not familiar with cutting metal, I highly recommend a pair of, they have what they call super grip gloves. So they're not really work gloves. They're just really fairly form-fitting gloves. They're coated with a grippy substance. So if you're uncomfortable with cutting metal and you want to make sure you don't cut yourself, that's what I recommend. I wear those when I'm polishing and buffing, so that I don't, buff away my fingers, even though that doesn't always work, because invariably I wind up with holes in my gloves far before I'm willing to expend the money on another pair.
I mean, you probably had a little extra finger.
Exactly. The finger is generous.
Parts of them grow back.
I was sanding. I never said I don't cut my fingers, Corvus. I think what I said is I'm comfortable with the fact that I cut my fingers. And the fact that I cut my fingers, I mean, I don't cut them badly very often. Also, by the way, anybody who cares deeply about me, I just want to let you know that my second-degree burn from ironing my pants while I was wearing them is almost healed. So, take heart, clumsy people.
You too.
You too can burn yourself while ironing your pants with a curling iron while wearing them and survive. Like I say, on the regular, I am not a role model. I am a cautionary tale. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and I'm just going to cut along this line to make my half moon. No, I really don't. I mean, I am not going to say I'm comfortable with pain, but I've injured myself enough that I can tolerate it. And therefore I don't always have the fear cautionary response that I should. But it's not a desire to hurt myself, it's just a lack of forethought. Story of my life. Open. Don't I? Yeah. Hi, Keiko. I know. Okay, so I do get this, Keiko. Like, I'm not, that completely, but I was in a hurry. I was running late, as I often am. Yes, thank you, Prince. That's what I was talking about. Grip gloves. So you can probably just get on Amazon and Google grip gloves. But see, here's the thing, is if you want them to protect you from accidents, you have to wear them, which I tend to be bad at. But the whole ironing my clothes while wearing them, so I was running late, because I'm always running late, and I wanted to crease I had my pants cuffed up, and I wanted to crease the cuffs. And I've done that before with a flat iron with great success whilst I was wearing them. The problem is my current flat iron is also a curling iron, which means that it's flat, or that it's hot on the outside and the inside, and that was what the information my brain failed to serve up to me before I stuck it under my pants and burned the absolute ever-loving crap out of my shin. But like I said, it's almost entirely healed now, so
at least it was loving crap.
Yeah, and the scarring will be, there will be a scar. It will be a scar that's ironically shaped like an iron. Or a Ouija planchette, take your pick. Okay, so I've got my shape cut out, so now I'm gonna go ahead and finish the edges, and I'm gonna do that with the round side of my chasing hammer. So I'm just gonna tap all the way around my edges. Keiko, I heard that you and Heather had so much fun. The reason I'm doing this so weirdly is just to make it easier to stay on camera, that's all. You could totally just go linear all around, and that would be just as fine. But you'll notice that I didn't need to flatten this out with a mallet beforehand, because the finishing of the edges flattened it out for me. Yes, well, and I adore it. I have a curling wand now, which works amazingly most of the time, but every once in a while, and yes, it comes with a heat-proof glove. No, I don't wear it because I'm an idiot. Again, not a role model right here. But yeah, every once in a while I'll.
Not for that.
What?
Not for that. Yes.
I don't think I'm a role model for safety of any sort.
Okay, fair.
I can be role models for other things.
Yes, you are.
But not for safety.
Okay.
Oh, Corvus, I love my curling wand. It is the only thing I mean, I used it to kind of salvage my. Oh my God, Keiko, were you on a second ago? Because, so my hairstylist used a new product on my hair when she cut it yesterday, and she wanted me to sleep in it to see what the results were. And so when I woke up this morning, those were the results. So yeah, using my curling wand, I managed to salvage it to this. And I love my curling wand, but yeah, every once in a while, if you slip or do the wrong thing, yeah, it's bracing. It's bracing. Yeah. So, as I already said to the stream, I sent that photo to my, oh God. Oh, I sent that to my hairstylist, who's also a friend of mine. And her response was, oh my. So it was pretty funny. But hey, I mean, my hair still had volume and texture, which it normally doesn't. So, well, okay, to be fair, Heather and I train with the libations. And we are neither of us cheap dates. Also, if you all were at TRF, the plying with libations is not very economical. So, okay, so that's my edge finish. Now, most of the time, that edge finish will give you a fairly decent finish on the edge, so you can skip the sandpaper and go straight to the steel wool. But if you see anything that looks like, it might be a problem area, just grab some 320 sandpaper and sand that down. I'm going to go ahead and just skip, like I said, straight to the steel wool. So this is quadruple zero steel wool, and I'm just going to rub my edges. And once you've done the steel wool, you should be able to press your finger firmly against. Haha, yes, Keiko, you know how to fare. Absolutely. Secret alcohol is the way to go. So sometimes at fair they check pouches and bags and things. It's been forever, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do all the edges. So that's another. But yeah, so at Scarborough Fair, they're very diligent about checking pouches and things. TRF not so much, but it's been so long since I was there, I didn't know. So I had a flask, and so on my way up to the gate, before I got there, I stuck my flask down my corset, because there was room in there for it, and so then I got in the gate, you know, no problem, didn't get checked, anything like that. But then I'm walking and I'm like, why am I so uncomfortable in this corset? And I'm like, oh right, there's a flask shoved down my front. But yeah, so I'm doing some fun new things for Dickens on the Strand this year. I'm doing some kind of funny little inexpensive, thanks Keiko, inexpensive pendants with little funny sayings on them. And so I downloaded some cool new fonts, and one of the fonts has no letter Y, which is really a pain in the neck when you're trying to type things like whiskey in a teacup. And it switches to some really mundane, boring font for the Y. And I'm like, why does this font have no Y? I mean, I've had fonts that had no punctuation before, which I also don't understand, but no letter Y. Whiskey with 2 E's. I loved, okay, that's gonna, no, it's gonna be whiskey with 2 E's and 2 exclamation points. And Keiko gets one for free for suggesting that. That's amazing. Love it, love it, love it. Also, I did some, I like whiskey with 2 E's and an exclamation point because it's like whiskey. And then I also did a couple of vintage sayings. Let's see. I don't have my computer in front of me, but let's see. One of them was bitch the pot, which means pour the tea. Tight as a boiled owl, which means drunk, and there's another one that I can't remember. So yeah, it was, hopefully they're gonna be fun, hopefully they're gonna sell. If not, guess what? They're gonna wind up on stream. Okay, so now I'm ready to decorate this, and so you can be as freeform or not freeform as you want with decorating this, since I'm running a little overtime because I was having technical difficulties. I was ready to get on, and then not so much. I'm just going to do something pretty simple. So I'm going to take, and this I have to say is one of my favorite stamps. This is an Impress Art stamp. It's part of their one of their mandala sets, and where it's a set of like 4 stamps, and you can use it to create mandalas, and we've done that in the sterling silver mandala class. So, but I really like this one. It's this really kind of stylized flame, and it's very pretty. So I'm just going to start in the middle. And so when you're stamping, make sure you pay attention to which way your stamp is going. I want the flat part of my flame against the top of my earring. So that's how I'm going to set it. You want to hold your stamp at the bottom. You want to press down into your metal with your stamp, and then you want to hit it nice and hard with your hammer. And on a big design stamp like this, you can hit a couple of times. Now it's going to get earthquakey because I had to move my camera back to my table. So I'm going to hit. Oh, and I still didn't get it. Hold on. It's because of the weird angle being under the camera. Hey, Corvus, how are all your new cameras, by the way? Corvus got fancy and upgraded. Okay, so there we go. So there's one. So now I'm just going to go ahead and do this all around the edge of this. Also, by the way, it's going to get loud, so if you need to mute me, feel free. It won't take very long, though, because I'm going to do, like I said, a pretty stripped down version of this. By the way, buttonless buttons are in progress. I haven't taken delivery of them yet. Oh, wow. It's always something, isn't it, Corvus? It's like you fix one thing and then you gotta fix something else and then you gotta fix something else. And then you gotta fix something else. Alright, so there are those. I know, right? New technology, new problems, new problems, new technology, then new technology, new problems. It's like the cat with the peanut butter bread on its back. It just keeps going and going and going. It's a perpetual motion. Pain in the ass is what it is. Okay, we'll start with the 500 questions about Dickens, Keiko, and then get to the other stuff when you remember it. Okay, so I'm just gonna take, oh right, I'm gonna take just a dot stamp and I'm gonna do some lines of dots coming out of here, and just because I don't always have the easiest time making straight lines, I'm gonna draw myself just a couple of guidelines. Don't anybody comment that those lines aren't straight, because I will give you the evil eye through the computer. And then I'm going to find just a centering punch or something. There we go. Centering punch, so so this is something that you use. Technically it's called a centering punch and you use it to mark where you're going to drill, but it also works well for making dots. And this one you just have to tap, because if you hit it too hard, you're actually going to make a hole through your metal, which you don't want. Okay, so there is that. Yeah, no, just don't. Corvus, turn away. Don't even. I am perfectly aware of the level of my art skills as far as visual art goes. As far as, like, you know, drawn visual art goes. I got no skills to hold me down, to make me fret or make me frown. I got no skills, so now I'll say... Yeah, I got nothing after that, sorry. Cool. Yeah, I'm still kind of, you know, working off of the investment that I had to make when I melted my camera. So I shan't be upgrading for a while.
Plus, she had to put me on camera.
Well, yes, I also had to upgrade Heather's cameras, because she definitely had the redheaded stepchild camera, which was not cool. So yeah. We shan't be upgrading our cameras anytime soon. Lighting could use some help. Okay, so now I'm going to take my pen, and by pen, I mean my Sharpie. I'm just going to color all of this in. And this is just going to help me get some detail in those lines. Interesting, Corvus. Because, yeah, pretty much not all my cameras are Logitech, but most of them are. So that's interesting to know for, like, upgrading purposes. Because this camera has a zoom function, but this one does not. And it would be nice to be able to zoom that one in a little bit more on my face parts. But once again, I'm just happy that I haven't, no, we didn't, okay, no. Keiko, you haven't been around for long enough for this. Hi, Silvern. No. So, in the bleak midwinter of 2020, we were back in the store. I was streaming from Beading Dreams. I was no longer streaming from my home. And I was teaching a soldering class. And it was a pretty high heat soldering class, and I had my camera pretty close to my flame. So now I'm just taking a little bit of rubbing alcohol that I've got in a spray bottle and using that to wipe away my Sharpie. I know, right? And then what it's going to do is it's going to leave that black in the depressions, but it's going to take it off the surface. So yeah, in the bleak midwinter of 2020, I was teaching a soldering class that was pretty high heat, and I was having a little bit of difficulty with the project, so I was paying more attention to the project than to my hand camera, and all of a sudden I noticed that the hand camera view was frosty white, which brings images of snow and frost. But no, what I had done... Really? You're that new, Corvus? Dang. Well, you've at least... I know you've heard tell of it, though. The legend of the melted camera has been trotted out at least once for Corvus, I'm sure. But yeah, I had managed to melt one of the... well, fair. That's true. Lori did as well. God, that was a while ago. So yeah, so I had melted one of the internal lenses of my hand cam. Oh, you're so sweet, Corvus. Corvus said my voice is calming. Corvus has never heard me when I'm like, you know, freaking out. But thank you. No, I would have never thought you were saying I was boring. But yeah, so I melted one of the internal lenses of my camera. Like, the surface of it was fine, but it was not, it was not functional. So yeah, I had to quick order a new hand cam. And it's actually funny, because that hand cam didn't actually belong to me. That hand cam was a loaner. Luckily, the person from whom I borrowed it at this point is probably inclined to forgive the melting of the hand camera, but yeah, that was yeah, that was that was a night. It was one of those nights where it's just like, well, crap, what do I do now? Like, I got nothing. I still have not repeated that project on stream because I'm still scared.
Which project was it?
Crystal cap?
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to make the little receptacles on our earrings. So you do actually want these kind of pointy bits. You can file them off a little bit, like just blunt them down a tad, so first of all you don't, you know, hurt yourself, and so you have a little bit more contact area. But you do need them to come to kind of this point, so I'm just going to file it down a bit and flatten it like so. Yeah, that's, you know, I love shows like that. That was The West Wing for me, and then they took it off Netflix, and to buy it, streaming costs a bajillion dollars. Well, you know, it always ends the same, so you don't really have to see the end.
Sometimes it doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah, one day I was like, I know I've seen this episode, and I really can't remember how it ends. And I was like, remember, you always fall asleep.
So then I'm going to take my round nose pliers, I'm just going to grab that point, and I'm just going to roll it over. So my goal is to get, I don't want to roll it too far, because if this gets too wide, like if I roll too far down on here and this gets too wide, it's not going to sit nicely when I make my ear wire. So I just want to go with the very tip of my pliers, and I'm rolling a little bit at an angle. So I'm going to roll down like so, ta-da, Repeat on the other one. And you don't have to purposefully make that angle. It'll just pretty much do that by itself. And you do want to make sure that that is completely closed, which mine is not. See, I don't actually do Law and Order or Criminal Minds. CSI is my particular procedural fall asleep to show. I don't know if Heather does Criminal Minds or not. Okay, so I've got 20 gauge wire here. This is going to be my ear wire. So I had 10 or 11 inches of wire. I just cut that in half. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a large loop in one end of both pieces of wire. So by large, I mean all the way down to the bottom of your round nose and just curl it around. You don't need to center this, okay? So you're just going to stop there. Really? That's cool. You California people. All right, there we go. And then I'm going to find something that is fat and round, a dowel, or in this case, I'm going to use the end of my bezel rocker. Wow. Okay, and then I'm just going to take my round object and I'm going to place it about there and just bend this over. So I've got a very large hook. All right, and then we're going to do the next one, like so. So ideally these will be the same, and they're not. So I'm going to go ahead and shorten this one a little bit. You can see I made that just a little too long on that curve. Okay, better. Yeah, okay, so now those are the same height. We're just going to open that loop up and I'm going to attach it onto one of these two loops. So you have to feed it, it's kind of backwards feeling, but you got to just feed it on. And hopefully your loop is big enough that it'll go around. There we go. And then you can go ahead and close it up. Okay, so this is what we want at this point. I am that's okay, I get the gist. I'm not actually vending there, Keiko. I'm just playing there, but I have friends who expect me to travel with jewelry to sell, so I will be vending privately but not publicly. There. Okay, and then to finish off my earring, this is going to be the receptacle for my hook. So I'm just going to take this right about here.
She's got a trench coat.
I do have a stylish Victorian trench coat, it's true. And I'm going to cut that off. And so that is going to then go in there. And that is my earring. And I do want to make sure that, right, I don't know where I put my file, but I've got some sandpaper. I just want to make sure to sand down the end of this, because otherwise it's going to be uncomfortable going in the ear. And then I completely screwed it up. What? Well, her cloak is capacious, so I'm not surprised. And then this type of closure functions by tension. So you want to make sure you pull this out a little bit so that it'll then snap fairly securely into that receptacle. And sometimes you have to do a little bit of persuading of the wire to go where you want it to go. And you do need to make sure that this stays closed. So if your wire persuading opens that up, just go ahead and curl that back. Alright, so there is one earring, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the second one. And remember, so this is an earring that has a right and a left earring. So if my loop was on this loop, this receptacle of my first earring, I want it to be on this receptacle of my second earring. Yes, I would imagine that that probably was a little bit weighty, but useful. Also, there's a whole lot of TRF controversy going on right now because they just let go their entertainment director, just out of the blue for no apparent reason. So everyone is all freaking out about that. Okay, and so then I'm going to do this, and I'm once again going to bend it, and dresses with pockets are always better. Trim, sand that down, and again, make sure that it will pop into the receptacle. And there we go. Ta-da! That is our 2 half moon earrings. Well, hello, Frank the Tank. Thank you for wishing us a wonderful morning from Germany. We wish you a wonderful evening from Dallas. And we're concluding, thanks Lori, we're concluding our tutorial for this evening, but if you want to hang out for some more silly shenanigans, we'll be back on in about 30 minutes with a live merchandise sale. That actually that just happened, Keiko, like yesterday. All of my friends are, not all my friends, but a lot of my friends are like shocked and up in arms, and no one quite knows what's going to happen for the, performers of TRF going forward. But thank you. So Corvus just got a new awesome webcam, and so she posted those links in our Discord. If you're not a member of our Discord and you want to join, type !Discord into the Twitch chat. But at this point, that has been our Wednesday evening tutorial, half moon earrings. Thank you so much. So it's 7:10. Heather and I will be back on this channel, twitch.tv/beading dream, in half an hour. That's gonna be around 7:40, 7:45, with another 50% off sale, y'all. Okay, I did not get through as much half off merchandise as I wanted to during the official sale, so I'm extending it for one more night. That's gonna be 50% off. And remember these pearls? Yes, she didn't come and get them, so that means these are gonna get cut up. They will be 70% off on this evening's sale stream. So it is time for me to go get ready for the sale. Not drop that on the floor. So everyone who's coming to the sale, we look forward to seeing you. Everybody who is gonna miss the sale, thank you all so much for coming to the tutorial, and we will see y'all back on this channel, twitch.tv/beadingdream in 30 for the sale. If you're not going to be on the sale next week, or sorry, the remainder of this week, just so everyone knows before you split, we're going to be dark tomorrow night because I'm going out of town and Heather has a private lesson. Heather will be doing Zoom on Friday night. If you haven't Zoomed with us before, email us beadingdreamsdallas@gmail.com for the credentials, and then Heather will be doing Freeform Saturday, followed by a trunk show sale. So, all right, I'm gonna go get ready for the sale, and we'll see y'all back on this channel, twitch.tv/beadingdream in 30. Bye, y'all.